Our lead story, President Obama tonight expected to announce executive action on immigration that could protect up to 5 million illegal immigrants in this country from deportation. But our next guest has another idea of how the president could use his power. Don Rosenberg's son, Drew Rosenberg, was killed by an illegal immigrant. And recently, Don penned this letter to President Obama. Quote, while your executive order pad is out, can you write one to bring my son and tens of thousands, actually over 100,000, killed by illegal aliens back to life and to bring our destroyed families back together? Powerful words. Don Rosenberg joins us right now with what he'd like to hear from the president tonight. He's in L.A. Don, good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Why did you write that letter to the president?
Well, that letter was actually a follow-up. I wrote one back in August, which was a little more detailed and which was delivered by the Department of Homeland Security to him. Never got a response on it. What I'd like to see the president do is finally acknowledge all of the people that have been killed by illegal aliens. This is not a story about my son. This is a story about over 100,000 people that have been killed since the last amnesty and are getting killed at the rate of 5,000 a year. And ironically, most of them, about 60%, are being killed by people that are in the country illegally but have not committed any what the administration calls serious crimes.
Sure.
So it's not a question of, oh, if we deport all the ones that have committed serious crimes, problem solved. Mm-hmm. That's just not what's going to happen. And then you have to define what's a serious crime. The killer of my son was not considered a serious crime. I was on your show about 2 years ago because they wouldn't deport him. I had to spend thousands of dollars of my own money, a lot of my own time, to get my government to deport the guy who killed my son. And that's absurd that has to happen. So define serious. No, I was just listening. You know, they said this is a badge of honor. This is reprehensible. And the funny thing, you know, the guy who killed my son, I hired a private investigator to look into him. He was not, you know, what you would call a bad guy, so to speak. Yeah, he came into the country illegally. He drove without a license. Mm-hmm. I couldn't find any crimes that he did. He was here 11 years. Right. He'd qualify for the protection, but he killed somebody, right. And then they didn't want to deport him.
No, I know. And we've told the story before, and that guy wound up driving over your son 3 times and killed him. It's a heartbreaking story. But Don, before you go, I want to ask you this question. The President of the United States' ultimate task is to protect the people of the United States. Is he?
Well, he's failed miserably. I mean, you know, you're talking about, 3 people have been killed by terrorists since, 9/11, and about 40,000, no, I guess it's about 30,000 people have been killed by illegal aliens. So I don't call that a success. They're so concerned about separating families. What about our families? What about the millions of people whose families haven't just been separated permanently, but have been destroyed? So I don't have a lot of sympathy for families that are getting separated because of their own actions. I would like to mention one thing. There's a great organization called the Remembrance Project that's run by a woman named Maria Espinoza. It's remembranceproject.org. They work with families of people that have been killed, and I would really ask people to, especially if they're one of those people that have lost somebody, to contact the organization, certainly people to donate to it.
Right, exactly. Well, that's very nice of you to make that public. Don Rosenberg, I know it's tough to go through again, but we thank you for doing it on this important day. Thank you, Don.
Thank you very much.